Hi, I'm Senator Camera Bartolotta, and it's Thanksgiving week. So I just wanted to share with you a couple of my family traditions that we put on our Thanksgiving table. One of them is something that was my daughter's very favorite from when she was a very, very little girl. She's 30 now, and she still loves to have yams and schmellows on the Thanksgiving table. I'll explain that a little bit. And the other one that we're going to do today is just a regular stuffing or dressing, because it's not going in the bird, but a dressing that everybody loves, and you can't have Thanksgiving dinner without stuffing on the table. Okay, first thing we're going to do is the sweet potato casserole with the melted marshmallows on top. So this is a sweet potato, but you know, who has time for that? So what we're going to do, this good old canned yams, they're great. And I think another reason why my daughter likes it so much is they're called Brewskis, and that was the name of her dad. So he passed 12 years ago. So this is just a little something to have with our family, and we're gonna do sweet potato casserole with schmellows on top. And strain them out. Reserve about a cup of the liquid, because you're going to need to add a little bit of the liquid perhaps if you like your yams a little bit runnier. But I just kind of like them a little dry, because what I do is I add orange juice to it for the liquid. So we're going to drain it out. That's good enough. That with the orange juice will be just fine. I'm going to do 2 cans because generally one is just never enough. Okay, so what we're going to do is this plain canned yams right now, and we're going to take some melted butter, all right, and put that in there. Just adds a nice little gloss, nice little flavor. All right, butter. So, and the canned yams, believe it or not, they seem to be more consistently sweeter than fresh yams. So we're just going to do, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do 1 cup of brown sugar. And once we have it all blended in with all those spices, we're going to give it a little taste. Always taste your food. Always taste your food. Okay. So we're going to do some cinnamon. Just maybe, let's see, probably, I'd say that's about a half a teaspoon. Start with that. All right. I'm going to do a tiny little bit of nutmeg. A little bit of nutmeg goes a long way, but it gives that a little distinct little flavor that you're not really ready for. There we go. Just a couple little shakes. Good enough. I love nutmeg, especially at holiday time. And then here's something that is a little sneaky. Okay, you read all these recipes for sweet potato casserole. Oh, add ginger, add this, add clove, but good old pumpkin pie spice right there. It's all in there. Just give it a little bit of a shake, okay? And we're good to go. And again, taste your food. Taste your food. Once this is all whipped up and everything, we're gonna give it a nice little taste to see if it needs a little more cinnamon, a little more whatever, okay? So there's that. And just for a little moisture, make it a little bit of that. And one of my favorite things is orange rind and a little orange juice too. The brightness of it really cuts in with the fatty butter and all that. It just really makes it nice. So we're just gonna, this is a little microplane. It's just gonna give us a nice bit of zest. Okay. To me, you can't overdo the orange zest. You just can't. It makes it really nice. So we just put a little bit of the orange zest in there, so we're going to go for a little bit of the orange juice now too. You can just use bottled juice if you've got it, whatever. I just happen to have this fresh orange, nothing like that, so great flavor in there. Alright, put a second stick of butter in there, because I had 2 cans. So I'm just guessing maybe 1 stick of butter per big can. Again, you know, do what you like, try it. If it's too buttery, cut out some butter next time. You see how it's a little dry? Okay, that's why we reserved some of that liquid from the can. So we're gonna go ahead and put a little tiny bit more in. Just kind of eyeball it. Because you want it to be nice and creamy before you put it in the oven. All right, so we're just gonna blend all that in. Ooh, perfect orange. It needs a lot more pumpkin pie spice for sure. All right. Okay, that tastes a little bit bland, a little too yummy, if you will. A little more spice in there, and I think maybe just a tiny little bit more brown sugar. Oops, in there. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, that's good. Okay, what I usually do is I take the wrapper from the butter, and you can use that to grease the bottom of the pan. All right. Okay, so here's another little thing that I usually do, because like most people, you never seem to have enough room in your oven. You have too many things in there. So easy peasy for the sweet potatoes, I get them hot in the microwave. I can put this whole bowl in the microwave and heat it up slowly, keep stirring it until it's hot all the way through. Then you put it in your casserole dish. I mean, this won't fit and turn in my microwave, or I would. So you get your sweet potatoes nice and hot in the microwave, you put them in here, and then you can top them with your marshmallows and pop them in that hot oven to crisp and brown the top of those schmellows right before you're ready for the table. And again, what's nice is if you've got guests that don't care for the marshmallows, fine, put them on half. All right? Or you just peel them off. Just put the little puppies on there. Okay, nice and even. And this oven's heating up to 450. When it's at 450, you pop that in there and let them slowly puff up all over. And then what I do, turn it on boil real quick and watch it. Don't leave, don't walk away. But watch it when it's on broil, because then the heat's directly on top and it just toasts them really nicely. So then it's up to you how much of a brown you want on there. You just want a little bit golden, or you want a little bit blackened on there. You know, some people like to burn their marshmallows at a campfire. I'm not one of them. Don't. Ooh, look at that. There we go. Getting there. Oh yeah. So you can take it out like that if you want it just a little bit golden and pretty and puffy, or you just add a little bit more heat, brown them up a little bit more, whatever you want. So it's up to you. All right, we're going in. Look at that. Look how pretty. Oh yeah. That's enough for a nice hungry crowd. Look how pretty that is. All right, Yuns and Schmellows. Perfect. I'm only going to use half this sausage because I think a pound is too much meat in stuffing. I don't want to make it really heavy. So we're going to do half of this. Okay. Do half of that meat. Okay, we're going to brown. This is sweet sausage, sweet Italian sausage. So, when I was growing up, we were pretty poor. We did not put meat in our stuffing. We actually had to save up bread to tear apart to put in our stuffing. Or we just got like stovetop or whatever the heck that was on sale. But, yeah, the sausage adds a nice little different flavor, texture, and everything to it. Makes it a much heartier side dish. I'm going to try to leave some of the fat in there because I'm going to brown. Okay, that's the sausage. I'm going to leave some of the fat inside for the onions and celery. All right, so we need onion and celery that we're going to cook in there. All right, so we're going to do Slice a little bit like this. Don't go all the way through. Let's still hold on to it. Okay, don't go all the way through. All right, so we're gonna get a nice dice. Okay, oops. There we go. All diced up, ready to rock. Like this one. Okay. Watch your fingers. There we go. Now, put this bad boy back on. Still have a little bit of the fat from the sausage. All right, we're just gonna brown up some of the onion and some of the celery. But we also need a little bit of butter in here for more fat because it's not gonna be enough to brown all that. We need a little more butter. Melt that bad boy in there. Now that's working. Okay. These are Bold and Delicious. I'm not a big fan of Bold and Delicious, but that's sort of what I called for in one of these. They're kind of soft, so I'm going to stick another, I think that's a Fuji or something in there. It's a nice tart apple, the red one. Just to get a little bit more crunch and a little more flavor. All right, let's get that onion in there. It's nice and hot. We got some butter in the pan, nice and hot. Saute these little guys, move them down a little bit. Remember, this was the pan that we browned the sausage in. So there's some nice little bits and everything on the bottom. They're going to add some flavor to the onion and the celery that's melting down right now. Okay. I think I'm going to make it a little smaller. I'm a little bit smaller than bite-sized, so that they're nice and evenly distributed throughout the stuffing. Okay. All right, gonna do some fresh parsley. I love fresh parsley. You don't put it in anything too early because it will wilt and get all gross. So you like it for the brightness of its color and its flavor. So you want it to just sort of go in towards the last minute of anything. So I'm just getting it ready to go. But when you're dealing with stuffing, dressing, stuffing, whatever, fresh herbs are a must. They're so great. But to get a more intense flavor throughout, sometimes it's good to use dried herbs also. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Again, the flavor is so concentrated in dried herbs that you can't use the same amount of fresh or dried. So it's nice to mix the two, just for color, texture, taste. I love sage. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I have this growing in my yard all the time, but we had a little bit of a frost recently, so didn't survive too well. I also have fresh thyme that I grow. I grow rosemary all year long. It's great stuff. Love it. Nothing like fresh herbs. It's easy enough to do in a little pot in your patio. Bring it in the wintertime. You can even put them in the garage sometimes. We're gonna do this. because in just a second we're gonna do the bread cubes in here, and it's gonna take up a lot of room. So I was sauteing our onions and celery and everything over there, but just transfer it over. All right. Ready for that, and we're gonna do good. Maybe a little bit of thyme if we want. If I could turn back time. I'm sorry, that was so bad. Good. All right, put the apples in. Right, there's 3 tart apples, peeled, cored, and chopped. All right, toss those in with the celery and the onion and the butter. Toss those around. Chop up this parsley a little bit. Just bunch it all up in a little ball and then run your knife through it a few times. We're going to do a half a cup of dried cranberries in here, all right? This will give a little tartness. Kind of countervails the apples, the sweetness of those apples too. Gives it a nice color. All right, there's that. We've got some rosemary, chopped rosemary. We're also going to go in with our sage. You can't overdo fresh seasonings. You really can't. It's going to be wonderful. So we've got sage, we've got thyme, a little bit of thyme, lots of parsley, a little bit of sage, and a little bit of rosemary in there. Okay? Mix that together. Look how pretty that is. You got the green, you got the red. You got the wonderful celery, onion, apple, dried cranberry, lots of herbs in there, lots of flavor working in there, okay? All right, so now we're gonna put our sausage back in, all right? Our brown sausage, drained, dried, everything back in there. Starting to come together. All right, and for easiness, I just go to the local supermarket and just they make this just for stuffing at this time of year. It's just sliced bread. That's all it is, okay? So, I mean, you can do it yourself, but, you know, why? It's just bread. But right now, I mean, this is just fine. So we're gonna do that bad bag. All right, there we go. We're just going to pump this in here. I'm going to start adding some, you can add chicken stock. If you don't use the sausage and you want to make it vegetarian, you can just use vegetable broth, make it all vegetable, fine, not a problem with that. Just because I didn't make a turkey yet this year, this is just for demonstration purposes, I did get turkey broth here. Otherwise, I would just use the turkey broth from roasting the turkey. I eyeball everything, so. All right, here's a cup of turkey broth. Now, if this were my grandmother making it, she would have made sure that the broth was hot before she put it in there. But hey, Gran, forgive me, sorry. All right, we're gonna put that in there, toss all this around, okay? So try not to make it too mushy. You hear that sizzle in there, right? You should hear your cooking if you're sauteing anything, if you're simmering anything. But right now, we're gonna turn this bad boy down. All right, so we've got our sausage, we've got our celery, carrots, apples, we've got the dried cranberries in there, we've got fresh parsley, we have fresh sage, fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, a little bit. And we're just tossing it all around with our stale bread strips. Okay, it's just cubed bread, not seasoned bread, just bread, all right? You toss it all around, and if you need to add more moisture, do it. Some people like a real wet dressing. Some people like it real dry. This is way too dry, so we're gonna add a little bit more. Okay. I think I probably add another, that was probably a third of a cup. All right. Just distribute all that flavor everywhere though. All right. What we're gonna do too, I'm gonna add a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. All right. And we don't really have any pre-seasoning or anything in here. So there's really not a lot of salt at all. And this probably doesn't have a lot of salt in it. It's not low salt for you, but anyway, there's really not a whole lot of salt. So what we're gonna do is we're going to add just a teensy little bit to bring it all together. A little bit. This is pink Himalayan salt, but you could do, here's regular. All right. Just gonna bring it all together, bring it all home. I'm not going to add more salt until I taste it, because then, you know, that sausage, I don't know if that was any salty sausage or not, so we don't know. All right, let's do that. That's looking pretty nice. Those herbs smell phenomenal. Still going to add a little bit more turkey broth. That bread was really dry. It's very thirsty bread. Again, you know, you just keep playing with it, and you notice the consistency, and if it looks dry, if it looks mixed, if it looks whatever, make an adjustment. It's for you. It's for your family. Do what you think is best. All right, that looks pretty good right now. Okay, I think we have something. I think we got her. Alrighty. Well, that is that. Some people love to take their stuffing and put it in a prepared, a buttered casserole dish, and then put it in the oven to warm, cover it with tin foil, put it in the oven to get nice and hot through and through, and then right before you're ready to go to the table, pull the tin foil off and put a nice little crunch on the top. It's up to you. Some people like this, some people don't. Again, you know, it's all about your family tradition. It's all about what makes your family happy. And if you go the easy way and just, like my gram and my mom used to do in the early days, get a box of stovetop, so what? You know, canned yams. Do it quick, do it fast. The idea for Thanksgiving is to spend time with your family, spend time with your friends. If you don't have family to be around this Thanksgiving, you know what? Volunteer at the Washington City Mission. Be there to help feed people who have nothing. There's always somebody with less than you. So this is the time for us to give thanks, to be thankful for what we have, and to look forward to the future. So I wish you all a very, very happy and blessed Thanksgiving. And moving into the Christmas season, I hope your heart is warm. I hope your table is full. And I hope your family is healthy. So thanks for being here. Happy Thanksgiving.